Have you ever used pens with your Cricut, or did you even know that you could to write and draw? If not, you're in the right place, because today we are going to be making this adorable card with a drawn feature on the outside and writing on the inside in Cricut Design Space that I think you are going to love. My name is Lauren and I'm a craft producer here at Makers Gonna Learn, where we bring you inspiration, education, and motivation to get your die cutting machine out of the box and start using it. So, with all that being said, let's go ahead and hop overhead and talk about the materials that you're gonna need to create this card. First of all, I want to take a minute and look at this card. I love it. I think it is so cute. It's different than really anything that we've really seen. I love the shape of it. I just think it is so adorable. So this is what we're going to be making today. The materials that you're going to need today are pretty minimal. Starting out, we have 2 sheets of cardstock from Celebration Warehouse. This is our absolute favorite cardstock. We love Ashley Falco and her brand. This is the brown and ivory that we are going to be using today. Next up, you are going to need a scoring stylus or a scoring wheel. Really and truly, we love a scoring stylus over the scoring wheel just because we can put it into clamp A and not have to switch it back and forth. Plus, this is a universal tool for an Explorer or a Maker Series machine. Next up, we are going to be using this Cricut pen in the color Moccasin. This is a 0.4 tip. This is a fine point Cricut pen and the color is Moccasin. And then last but not least, we have our Scotch ATG gun. This is just an advanced tape glider. Now, if you do not have a Scotch ATG gun, you can do this with any type of double-sided adhesive or some glue such as a Zig pen, Barely There art glue. All of these are great. We just need some type of adhesive to adhere our inset to our card. Now let's talk about the files that we're going to be using today. These files are specific for if you are wanting to draw or write with your Cricut. And the reason being is because they are monoline fonts and files. Now, normally if you were to take a file and turn it into a pen function in Design Space, it's just going to give you the outline. However, here at Makers Gonna Learn, we have files already set for monoline, for drawing, and sketch fonts that you can use with Design Space and your Cricut to write in your card. So let's go ahead and jump over to our share screen and I'm going to show you exactly where you can find those and how to download them. Now that we're here on our Makers Gonna Learn website, one thing I want to make sure that you guys know is if you are not part of our membership, we currently have an amazing deal going on, y'all. I don't think you're going to want to miss this. We are offering to those that are not members a 7-day free trial. This is insane. You get unlimited access to our website for 7 days completely free. Now, with the cut files and fonts, you get 20 download credits, so you can choose 20 cut files or 20 fonts or mix and match however you would like. So if you want to take advantage of this great deal, make sure you click the link down below. That way you can get your download credits, try us out. I really think you are going to enjoy everything that we offer here. Not only do we come out with new cut files and fonts every month, but we have a Facebook group that you can take advantage of. We have courses. We have over 60 plus classes here in our class section that you can take advantage of. Member only classes, other classes, past boot camps, so much there. But I really want to go back to our dashboard and show you my favorite part is our resource library, y'all. This is where you're going to find all of our reference sheets, our guides, things like that. 30 days to master your Cricut. If you are not a Cricut master or you want to learn more, or maybe you're new to Cricut, this is where you need to start. We're gonna walk you through step by step. Day 1, getting your Cricut out of the box, turning it on, getting everything set up, all the way to making your first cut and becoming a Cricut pro. It is a self-paced course, so you can do it as you want. And we also have our Cricut reference guide. We like to call this our Cricut Bible that talks about everything that you need to know. We'll just go through it, the terminology here, all the way down to the tools, when to use them, Design Space functions and how they work. But my favorite is the Cricut cut settings, and then on down here, your easy press heat settings. Now we have tested all of these materials on all of these different mediums to tell you exactly the temperature that you need and how long. So this is going to be worth it if nothing else. I love our Cricut reference guide. Now, back to our dashboard, let's go ahead and grab the files and fonts that we need. So we're gonna start out with Cut Files. And what I want to do is I just want to type in monoline, because that's going to show me every single file that we have on our website that you can draw with your Cricut. You can see here we have so many of these that you can use, but we're gonna do the monoline desert here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click the arrow pointing down, come up here, double click that to unzip that, double click it again, and I'm just gonna leave that here because I wanna go back to our website and grab our font. Now, once again, we want to use special fonts for this, especially when writing with our Cricut. So I'm just going to type in Sketch, and our sketch fonts are going to come up, and all of these are going to be single line fonts that doesn't leave anything inside. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean here in a minute. The one that we're going to be using today is Thomas Sketch. So I'm going to click the arrow pointing down once again, come up here, unzip this file, double click that. It is a font. Make sure we install it onto our computer. Once that is installed, we're going to go back to Design Space. And before I start assembling everything, I want to reload Design Space so that it is going to pick up all of the new fonts that I have downloaded on my computer. Now that we have downloaded the file that we want and the font is ready to go, we're going to start assembling our card. The first thing that I want to do is I want to come over here to Upload. I want to hit Upload Image. I'm going to go back to my Finder, and I'm going to grab the monoline desert in the SVG, pull that in, come back over here, upload it into Design Space. Once it's here, I'm going to select it and add it to Canvas. Now, do not be afraid. This is what it's going to look like coming in, guys. So don't worry, it's all good. What you need to do if you have downloaded a monoline file, it's gonna come in as a basic cut, but we're gonna come up here to Operations and change it from basic cut to pen. Now you can see that it is a true drawing sketch file. That is exactly what we needed. So we're gonna use the shape of this file and start the process of building our card. What I want to do now that I have changed it to a pen function, I'm going to come up here to Offset, and I'm going to create an offset. Now, you can create an offset as large or as small as you want. For this, I think a 0.25 is a good place to start. So we're going to select 0.25 and hit Apply. Now, because we put an offset on the pen function, it is going to be a pen function itself. So with it selected, we need to go back to Operations and change it back to Basic. Now you can see where we're going with this, but I want to get rid of everything in the middle, and I'm going to change the color real quick so you can see. I want this to be solid, so what I'm going to do with the offset selected, I'm going to come to Contour, and I'm going to hide all contours. Now you can see we have the base of our card, but we don't have the second side. So what you must do now is we need to duplicate. You can do that by selecting this duplicate button here or hitting Command D if you are on a Mac. From there, what we're going to do is we're going to bring these two sides of the card together. And what you can do is you can zoom in. It's very important that we zoom in for this section, and we're just going to overlap them barely. You can see here that we barely have them overlapped. What we're going to do now is select both this offset and our second offset, and I will zoom out. Here we have them both selected. We're going to come down here to Combine and unite them together. So now we have the base of our card. Don't worry, our monoline is still there, and I'm going to show you. There you can see it, but I'm gonna bring it back to front because we still have to add our score line. So now that we have the base of our card, we're gonna go over here to our shapes. We're going to grab a line, and we're gonna bring that line here in the middle of our card. Once again, I'm going to zoom in, place it right where it needs to go, stretch it down so that it goes all the way from the top to the bottom of our card. And I'm going to zoom back out, and we want to have the card selected and then come over here to our layers panel and select our line as well and attach them together. Okay, so now we have our card. Our monoline desert is still there. Once again, I want to show you guys it's just behind our card currently, just so we don't get confused. I'm going to leave it behind our card because now we want to create the inset for the inside of the card. With your card still selected, now the next step is to come back up here to offset. We want to select offset again, except this time we are going down below the line and creating an inset. And y'all, this is an amazing hack. Did you know that if you have a score line separating two sides of a card, it will automatically separate those two sides? So really and truly, we'll go overhead. If you wanted to create two inset sides, you can do that super simple. So we'll go back to the share screen. We're just going to select how large or small you want your ivory layer to be, and we're just going to select apply. Now you have your two insets to each side. If you want to keep them both, you can. If not, what you're gonna do is come down here to contour and contour out one side. And then you have your inset. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna change it to, we'll change it to an ivory color just so we kind of get an idea of what our card is going to look like. And now we're going to pull our inset. I'm gonna zoom out. We're going to pull our inset over to the side, now that over here by itself, and we're going to select our card and move it back behind our monoline desert sketch. Now we're not done. We still have to add our text, and what you need to do now is select your desert file and your card and attach them together. Now this is very, very important, because if you do not attach your sketch to the front of your card, it's going to be completely separate, and we want it to be sketched right on top of the paper, so you must attach your sketch. So our card now is done, ready to be sent to our Cricut, but we still need to add our sentiment on the inside of our card. To add your sentiment, what you need to do is select your text. We're gonna go to our fonts and our system fonts, and we're going to type in Thomas, and we want to choose the sketch font. Now let's start out with the regular Thomas font, and let's just say you had a regular font, and this is what I really wanted to show you guys earlier. Let's just say you have a regular font and you type in your sentiment. Things are tough, enter, but so are you. And let's say we size it down. We want it on the inside of our card, but we don't want to print it, and we want our Cricut to write it inside. If you choose a regular font and not a sketch font, and we come up here to operations and change it from basic to pen, what's going to happen is it's just going to give you the outline of that font. It is not going to be a single line. So that's why it is very important to choose a sketch font versus a regular font if you want it to look like true handwriting. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this and change the font from the regular Thomas font to the Thomas Sketch. And now we can see it looks like handwriting. So once you have your sentiment and you have it placed where you want it to go, we are going to select both layers, our inset. We're going to select both of these layers and attach them together. So now what it's going to do, it's going to cut this out of the ivory, but also write this out with the Cricut pen that we are using. Now we are finished creating everything in Design Space, and we are ready to send it to our Cricut to watch the magic happen. Once you are ready, we are going to go to Make It. So first up, it is going to cut out the inset of our card. I'm going to place our cardstock down on our light grip mat. We will go to Continue, and we are doing this on medium cardstock. Now it's telling us to load our pen into clamp A, so what you're going to do with the arrow forward, we are going to take our pen, load it into clamp A, close the clamp, and now we're going to load in our mat with our ivory cardstock. It is going to draw or write your sentiment first, and then after that is done, it is going to come back through and cut out our inset for the inside of our card. Once it is done, we're going to flip our mat over, unload our inset, and then we are going to move on to the actual base or main portion of the card. Load our cardstock on, go back to Design Space. Once again, we're using medium cardstock, and it's telling us what we need first. It's wanting the scoring stylus first, so we're going to go back over here to our Cricut. We're going to unload our pen and place our scoring stylus in first. Load our mat. We'll press the go, and now it's going to score down the middle of our card. Once that has finished, Design Space tells us to take the scoring stylus out of clamp A and add our pen back in, so we're going to do that and press play again. It is now going to draw our monoline file on the front of our card and be beautiful. Once it has finished cutting, we're going to unload. We'll bring it back over here, flip our mat upside down and unload our card. And look how cute. We're just going to line that up. The score line, we're gonna give it a good press along that score line. We'll grab our inset here, and using our ATG gun, we are just going to add some double-sided adhesive to our card, and then place it inside like this. And now you have a truly custom card where you have written and drawn with your Cricut. I mean, come on. What an amazing way to get a truly custom card, writing and drawing with your Cricut. If this is something that has intimidated you in the past, please do not let it. I truly think writing and drawing with your Cricut is one of the most underutilized portions of our machines, and I think it gives such a nice effect, especially when it comes to card making. If you have enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell notification so that you can get notified every time we get crafty. I can't wait to see the amazing cards and things that you all create using the pens and using drawing and writing with your Cricut, and I will see you guys in the next one.